But right now we're shifting our focus. We are cutting across live to Jerusalem as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now visiting the Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial. There you see these visuals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Holocaust Memorial. That is day 2 of his visit, the state visit to Israel that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has undertaken. And right now, this is part of the itinerary, an important pit stop that he's making there at the Holocaust Memorial or the Yad Vashem there in Jerusalem. And that is part of the itinerary. And after this, the important formal meetings will happen between the President and the Israeli Prime Minister, who would, of course, be meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A series of MOUs are also supposed to be signed. But right now, this day 2 can see a start with this visit of the Prime Minister at the Holocaust Memorial there. Remember, this place holds a lot of significance for the people of Israel and the entire Jewish community. And that's why it is a significant halt that the Prime Minister is, in fact, making here right after that historic address at the Knesset on day 1. Day 2 begins with this visit of the Prime Minister's at the Holocaust Memorial. We all know one of the most persecuted race in the world. The Jewish community always goes back to the Holocaust days and the kind of atrocities and persecution under Hitler that come to fore. And today at the Holocaust Memorial, standing in solidarity with the entire community, standing alongside the Prime Minister of Israel is the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Yesterday as well at the Knesset, he made that address where he said that India stands firmly with Israel. They understand the pain of an entire race that has been through terrorism. He was, of course, making a reference to the October 7th attack by Hamas against Israelis. And he's also equated the terrorism that India suffers from time and again, whether it is 26/11 or even the latest Pahalgam terror attacks. And there, very, very significant honor that has already been bestowed upon Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And right now, he is, in fact, being taken through the other important and very, very signifying moves there at the Holocaust Memorial. There you can see him almost genuflecting before this entire memorial. There is this lamp that is lit there, which is part of the Holocaust Memorial, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with the Israeli Prime Minister, there at the memorial, the Yad Vashem. This is, remember, the second day of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, and this is something that will also be a very, very significant aspect, as after this, there's also a meeting that has been planned of the important prominent members of the Indian Jewish community. They will be meeting with the Prime Minister, and of course he is going to be holding the meetings with the President Isaac Herzog and the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. All of this planned for day 2. My colleague Sanjay Suri is now with us on the broadcast. Sanjay, this visit at Yad Vashem, this is official memorial as far as Israel is concerned for the victims of Holocaust, and we do understand the kind of importance this place really has for the entire Jewish community. And that's why it was an important pit stop for the Prime Minister before he, in fact, began his formal meetings for the second day of a state visit today.
You know, this is not just very important. This is the most emotive issue for Israel, and politically, it is this that goes to the heart of the very creation of Israel. It is the greatest atrocity the world has known. So many millions of Jewish people were tortured and killed by the Nazis, and that gave momentum to the long drive for the creation of a Jewish state for Jewish people, and so Israel. Therefore, this is the very existence of Israel. This goes to the heart of Israel. It's politically a very, very significant statement to make. The Prime Minister did visit Yad Vashem on his earlier visit to Israel back in 2017. And so this, again, is starting the second day's proceedings. And this is going to further cement the very warm expressions of mutual support and oneness that we have seen. And these were expressed very strongly through the speeches by both prime ministers in the Knesset last evening. And also both prime ministers made the point that India is one country where Jewish people have never been discriminated against. So this visit marks a very warm expression of bonds and oneness and respect. And it certainly sets the tone for the official stuff to follow later.
Absolutely, and this is, Sanjay, this is a second visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the Yad Vashem. Of course, the kind of emotive significance that that this place has, this memorial has for the Jewish community, the world knows about it. But it is the Israel's official state institution, and commemorating the victims of the Holocaust, which is, of course, one aspect of it, and that's why this visit of the Prime Minister's there is rather significant. Is he also going to be making a statement there?
It's not likely that he will make a statement. There is, as you know, we reported from Yad Vashem just a couple of days back, and they are very careful and very understandably careful about media presence at that place, because people, of course, can say what they want and they have a right to do so, but that may sometimes violate the sanctity of the place and the sanctity of the feelings. And so the expressions that we're going to see here are certain to be personal, private, expressed by the leader directly. We are not likely to see a media interaction where we have the usual public statements made. This is just too private, you might even say too intense for all that.
Right, absolutely. And when Prime Minister, while addressing the Knesset yesterday on day one of his state visit, when he said, and I'm quoting, "We feel your pain, we share your grief." This is exactly what he was talking about. This is the greatest atrocity that the Jewish community has been witness to. There are several of the Jews who've been persecuted, and this is one part of the dark history that they cannot celebrate, but they want to remember, and they remember it very, very deeply. And that's why how emotive, and you began with talking about it, it's a very, very emotive issue. How's the world looking at this? Sanjay? All right, we'll get that link back with Sanjay. But Sanjay had visited the Yad Vashem before Prime Minister Narendra Modi's arrival. Remember, he has been bringing us all the reports from Israel ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit. And this place was a significant stop for Sanjay as well. And it holds a very important place as far as the Jewish community goes. It is, we are looking at how this place is a memorial and also a name of those whose lives were erased. And that's how the Israelis choose to, in fact, refer to the Yad Vashem. We are learning that it's drawn from the book of Isaiah. It speaks of granting this memorial and a name, and that's why Yad Vashem. And Sanjay, in fact, was talking about in his report on how much of significance this particular place, this memorial really has for the people of Israel, and how it is dedicated to commemorating the victims of the Holocaust. It is known in Hebrew as the Shoah. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is there a second time. Sanjay is back with us. Sanjay, I was wanting to understand from you, how is the world looking at this particular part of Narendra Modi's visit to the Yad Vashem, and particularly the Jewish community there, the Indian Jewish community there?
Well, whether it's the Indian Jewish community or the larger Jewish community here, this would be an expression that really goes to the heart of people. And while there are sound political reasons, sound strategic relations in place between Israel and India, there is a bond, and that bond has arisen, as the Prime Minister has reminded us all, that there has never been discrimination against Jewish people in India. And this now marks that. It's a reaching out, and it is not just an official symbolic act. There's a whole history and centuries of history behind this expression of goodwill that we are seeing at Yad Vashem. And so it is a visit that is not just a matter of a protocol, kind of a nicety that this is an appropriate thing for a visiting leader to do. There is history backing it, and there is a very real feeling of oneness and bond. And this is widely known and widely respected within the Jewish community here in Israel, and that really is the bedrock of a very strong bond that there is not just between the two nation states but between people from the two nations.